Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome to this video review of a very fascinating I say new novella from our dear friend Polly, the Latino Slant. They Call Me Charleston, a short book from the Forever Now series. And I say new because I only received my physical copy fairly recently with some wonderful messages from Polly. Um, I have to keep my slant fuerte, apparently. But full disclosure for this little review, spoiler free review, or mainly spoiler free review of this great short story, is that I am indeed a early member and supporter of Polly the Latino Slants channel. So I want to make that quite clear right now that I am a fan and supporter of Polly and his channel, the Latino Slant. For anyone unaware of this wonderful channel, uh, where Polly covers partly from a Hispanic perspective and a Latino perspective, but also just generally covering everything, covers all sorts of wonderful subjects on pop culture. He has the most fantastic guests, fantastic musical guests as well. He has a lot of music content. It really just is the most wonderful channel. He's a wonderful chap. Streamed with him a few times. So, full disclosure that in this discussion about They Call Me Charleston, that not that I've received anything for this, but I'm a supporter of Latino Slant channel in general. And I would urge everyone to go there. Links will be in the description. Links to Latino Slant's channel, to Polly's website, to the They Call Me Charleston novella Indiegogo site, where more details can be discovered. And also, the book is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and various other places where people would normally find such stuff. So I will be putting links to some of that in. Let me hide that on the screen right now. So now I've got the full disclosure out of the way. We all want new stories and new mythologies instead of what we apparently get right now. It's an awful lot of endless retreads of things we've already got, not always done in the best of manners. And I think that's what Polly has set out to do with They Call Me Charleston, which is a very short novella, but based in a new mythology, a new mythos, new set of stories, steeped in Meso-American myth and legend, but it's a myth introducing a lot of new characters and players of his own. And it's a very challenging thing to do when you start out to write anything. I would imagine that to try and create something new from scratch, a completely new universe, and this is a mythology that spans space and time. It features gods, it features good, bad, and indifferent gods, and it features all sorts of other characters of all shapes and sizes, of all abilities, of reasons for being and motivations. And these are very well described and introduced at the beginning of this novella, along with where some of these stories may be going in future. There's indeed a snippet of a tantalizing introduction to another story that is written about one of the main, I'll say gods, called Bravo, in this novella. So Polly has taken the difficult task, but rewarding one, because he's done it so well, of introducing this entire new mythos with all these new characters. And it really, as I say, spans space and time, so it can go anywhere and cover a whole lot of different stories. So well done on that, Polly. It's not just a matter, he is not taking the approach of, I'm just going to write a short story and throw it out there. It's part of a very much thought out universe. So the novella itself then is a snapshot of this out of this timeline, set in something like the present day of the southwest of the US, although dates and times are not necessarily explicitly laid out, which is fine by me. I have no problem with that. And the principal voice, uh, certainly initially in the story, is Charleston. Charleston is a healer. He's a celestial being of a timeless nature who is a healer, uses their gifts for good. And again, I don't want to give too many spoilers away because I do want you to get the book and read it. But he's a healer, and they use their gifts for good. But they're not. There are limitations to that, and there are drawbacks for him personally in that too. The limitations is that in order to do many of the things he does, he has to be extremely physically close to people to be able to help their emotional and physical issues. But he's also looking for somebody because he helps people to to develop their own skill sets, if I could put it that way without giving too much away. And he is actually searching for a girl, Lala Coates, who is featured on the cover. And she has some special gifts that certain individuals through time have. And it's gifts that could make her what is called a composer. And composers can literally manipulate space and time. I like the use of the term composers. And there are some other musical references in here to various ways that musicians can influence things in the physical world, which I felt was really neat. I wouldn't mind hearing some of that music, Polly. So. But anyway, Charleston seeks to find and help Lala and help her cross over to the protection and guidance of the Toltec god of all worlds, Bravo, the chosen one, the keeper of the balance between dark and light. Of course, that introduces the fact that there is forces of darkness and forces of light, and people trying to ameliorate the struggle between the two. And there are many, many other groups and characters introduced in the explanation of the guide at the beginning, but they're not necessarily featured in the novella. The novella is very much focused on initially Charleston and Lala. So it's fascinating stuff. And I'm really looking forward to reading the tantalizing glimpses we get at some of the other stories and the expansion of this story that the novella has introduced us to. It's written in a kind of very poetic way, but not a flowery poetic way, if I could put it that way. Also, some actual poetry in there. It's more of a real. Charleston's voice is that of a real being, not some flowery academic version of a real being. So when I say poetry, it's more of a street poetry, more of a but a type with a timeless nature. Now I'm not a book reviewer, so I don't know all the fancy words, but this is how it felt to me. Felt very poetic, but also very real. So, but there are tantalizing glimpses of other things that may go on. So I don't want to spoil the story. There's a novella, so it's relatively short. So I wouldn't want to give too much away, but I would urge everyone to go check it out. But as I say, getting a glimpse into a new universe, albeit one which borrows on certain mythos already existing in the Meso-American world, is fascinating, and it's what we've been looking for. I do like to support independent creators in this YouTube world that I inhabit, and very happy to support Polly with this one. Please check it out. As I say, links in the description. If you want to have a fascinating read, please support this. And we look forward to more of these stories and for me to then cover them as they are released. So, Polly, get to work. I'm sure you have been working. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, everybody, for watching this brief video talking about They Call Me Charleston by Latino Slant. I will be back soon with more content, I'm sure. Thank you for your support. Leave a like, a comment, and even consider subscribing if you enjoyed this. And certainly go over and subscribe to Latino Slant if you are not already. So, till next time, stay well, keep on rocking, and keep your slant fuerte.